Hey y'all, it's Corbin, and I'm here to discuss the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 15, Reunion Part 2. Now, all these girls are going to get a piece of my mind tonight, minus Jennifer Tilly and Kathy Hilton. Because throughout the reunion, they all made some very valid arguments, but overall, this cast is on some BS. So let's get into it. We start off where we finished off last week with Amanda versus Bose. Essentially, they're both attacking each other's business. Bose has been coming at Amanda because Bose cannot, for the life of her, as much as she's such an educated woman, understand what Amanda is doing. And Amanda, she's been trying to defend herself, but she's not doing the greatest job at it because she has no idea what the hell is going on Housewives. But Bose is essentially saying Amanda is promoting being rich as fuck, and Bose is not doing that. Bose is pretty much saying that her courses and what she does has more content to it. She taught 3 semesters at Harvard, and now she's doing those courses elsewhere, and she's giving people an opportunity to take a Harvard level course outside of Harvard, especially if they can't afford to go there. Hers is a charitable venture, according to her. My thing is this. Yes, Amanda is talking about, this rich as fuck mindset, and they keep saying, well, you're making money, you're telling people to get rich, and you're taking their money at the same time. Is that not how a business works? Am I crazy? Or is that not how a business works? Let's stop sitting here acting like, oh, she needs to be doing things for free. Because none of you girls will be doing anything for free. There's a price behind everything y'all do. So we need to cut that out. The only difference between what Amanda is doing, and I feel like Amanda is just leading with money. But yeah, she's teaching people how to make money and she's taking money. How is she supposed to live? In the world, you need money to survive. So I don't understand why we're acting like Amanda taking people's money is so surprising. Okay? Granted, I mean, I still, I wouldn't be taking her courses, but like, come on, y'all, cut it out. If people are paying for her courses, let those people pay for her courses. But Bose then says Amanda, we go into Bose saying Amanda is leading a cult. Amanda defends herself by saying, I'm doing the complete opposite. I'm teaching women how to not be dependent on a man and how to make their decisions for themselves. And so Bose fires back and says, well, you're teaching these women how to think a specific way. And that's cult like. And Erica, I think, jumps in and says, yeah, there's like a thin line between what you're doing and a cult. Any motivational speaker, any type of speaker, they teach people how to think a certain way. A motivational speaker teaches you how to, think happy thoughts. A motivational speaker teaches you how to, go out into the world and spread positivity. Amanda's just doing it with money. So you're telling me every motivational speaker is a cult leader? Like, y'all are just attacking this girl at this point. Y'all are just attacking this girl. Now, Amanda's not, completely innocent. But you girls are going way too hard on her. I feel like the crime doesn't fit the punishment. Amanda's definitely sketchy, and she has stuff going on in her life that we don't know about. But so do the rest of y'all. Like, y'all want Amanda to bear her life, and I'm getting ahead of myself. We're going to get there in a second. But like I said, I have a piece for Amanda, too. So I have a piece of my mind for Amanda. So Andy asks her, did she finish her cult book? Amanda says that she's on chapter 6. Girl, how long has it been since you started writing this book? Because you started writing it in Italy when y'all were filming. You went through filming. Filming has wrapped. Well, I guess the reunion was probably not long. The reunion probably filmed, I want to say, almost towards the end of this season airing. Like, months have passed, girl. What do you got going on? You still haven't, you only on chapter 6? And so she says that the editor is making her dig more into this cult thing. And this is what I'm saying right here is there is more that you're not telling us. There's so much more that's suppressed in there. And maybe it's suppressed through trauma, but you do have more in your life going on that you're not telling the general public. Because there's no way Amanda has the craziest personality. Not even crazy, she's like loud and boisterous or anything like that, but just one of the weirdest personalities I've seen on TV in a long time. And there's no way you got like this through a normal life. It's all I'm saying. And so, yeah, her editor is probably talking to her behind the scenes, and Amanda's probably dropping these little breadcrumbs of this happening in her life and this happening in her life. And her editor's like, oh no, girl, I know there's more going on in here. Let's get it in this book. So, yeah, don't give it to these girls. Make money off of it so they can be mad. But yeah, she's definitely hiding stuff. She definitely is. So Andy asked her about the cult situation, about her leaving the cult, because the fans had questions about the timeline of her leaving. Some were confused because they made it seem like she ran out the church. And so she clarifies she went to church first, then went home, packed all her stuff, and left in the middle of the night. Sutton and Erica both say Sutton, she's like, yeah, like we need to make this more dramatic, especially if you want to be like a lifetime movie. And Erica's agreeing, like, yeah, that was kind of boring. And that is the issue right there. That's the issue all these girls have with Amanda is that Amanda is portraying that her life is perfect. And granted, like I said, it's not perfect. She's 100% hiding stuff, but let her be. It's not like y'all aren't hiding stuff. We're talking about this whole reunion. Erica, we just started talking about Tom, and that was like 10 years ago. Kyle, we're talking about, Morgan, I feel like it's been going on for like 3 years at this point. Like all of y'all were hiding stuff, and it took y'all years to bring it out. But y'all want Amanda to come in and talk about it right out the gate. Y'all are not doing the same thing, and it's not fair. The goalpost is moving. We're holding her to a different standard. And so I think that's the issue they have with Amanda. Is she's portraying her life as perfect, and so what? Let her portray it because the truth will come out eventually. But yeah, they want everyone's life to be hard, and it's just like Bose said to her in Italy when they were going back and forth, and Bose finally confronted her when Amanda asked her about the mask comment. Bose was like, your life is not without warts or something like that, or we want to see the warts of your life. And it's like y'all thrive off of negativity. Why can't y'all be happy for a person who is acting positive? Whether they have true positivity in their life or not, if they're portraying positivity, just accept it. Because when it goes bad. And then you'll be there or you'll not be here for her. But the way y'all are acting, y'all may not be there for her because clearly Dorit going through something, y'all aren't there for her. When Erica was going through something, I mean, some of y'all were there for her, but like Sutton wasn't. So it's like y'all pick and choose who y'all want to be there for. But yeah, they want everyone's life to be hard. And it's like Garcelle said last year because Erica was like, oh, you're boring. Garcelle said it last year at the reunion. She was like, I don't need trauma in my life to be interesting. But to these girls, you need trauma in your life for them to relate to you. You need trauma in your life to be interesting to them. And that's what they want from Amanda. They want all her trauma. She just met y'all. She just met y'all, y'all screaming back and forth at dinner tables. Like she done been through so much in her life, and then she gets here, and here y'all go carrying on. Give her some time to loosen up. And I feel like she's starting to get there too. So that's where I am with it. Like I said, it's rich considering y'all want her to open up about her trauma when it's taking y'all years to talk about some stuff. We're just talking, like I said, this reunion about some stuff that y'all been going through for 5, 6, 7 years. So it's very rich coming from y'all. Yeah. They're really coming at her though. Like when Amanda mentioned, "Oh, my editor's trying to dig more out of me." Erica turns like, "Oh, you got an editor?" And Bose is like, "Ooh, yeah, mm-hmm." Just coming at her. The only person who should have came at her about that comment is Dorit. Because Amanda was the one talking about, oh, Dorit, you have a ghostwriter. I wrote my own book. So if Dorit would have spoke up and said something, then I would have understood. Dorit didn't say anything that whole time. She just making faces. I guess she didn't have to because all the girls were attacking her. But it's like, let this be Dorit's beef. Dorit could have a legitimate beef with Amanda this season. The rest of you girls, y'all are kind of just attacking her for no reason. Just, oh my gosh. So then they talk about Sutton having an issue with the girls doing a deep dive on Amanda. And it being hypocritical because Sutton has done it on people's lives before. Sutton's like, which lives? Girl. Do we not forget the whole Erica situation? Do we not forget the whole Kyle situation? Your marriage! I love when Garcelle says that. Your marriage! Where'd you get the ring? Is it a makeup band? But like, Sutton, let's not act like you don't dig in people's lives. And like, you all should. That's the point of Housewives. These people come on here to expose their lives, and we dig and prod, and we have conflict and resolution. So it's fine. But like, stop sitting here playing in the fans' faces like we have not watched the show over the years. So Dorit reveals that Sutton did a deep dive on Amanda, and so we see a little flashback of Sutton saying, "Oh, I'm going to take one of her classes." Now, I wish Sutton would have done it because the thing is this: we have all this speculation about Amanda's courses and what she's teaching, and if she's stealing people's money. Y'all calling her a cult leader, saying she's scamming and stuff like that. So y'all have the money. Put your money where your mouth is. Take one of her courses and see if it's legitimate. Because then if you take it and it's not legitimate, then you have a valid argument. But no, y'all are just throwing these baseless claims out off of assumptions. So Dorit reveals, though, that Sutton said that Amanda took out a $2 million loan. And Sutton's like, well, somebody told me that. I didn't do a deep dive on it. And Erica Johnson, and she's like, I wish I could take out a $2 million loan. I'm like, I'm sure you do. It'll get you out that pool house. Then they talk about the whole Chat GPT situation and how Amanda and Boz pretty much both Chat GPT'd each other saying negative things. And when they Chat GPT themselves, conveniently, they both said positive things. Of course. Um, Amanda, we talk about Amanda's skepticism about Boz's tenure with the Chat GPT. And so Boz pretty much says when you're in a CMO position, it has a short tenure. They don't usually have long tenures. Andy's face was like, er? He's like, what? And Boz is like, yes. So I actually looked it up. And let me see if I have it here. Yes. I will say this, Boz was not lying. So I looked it up on Google, and these are just like the little, like the Google summary results. But it says, as of early 2026, the average tenure for a chief marketing officer at a Fortune 500 company is approximately 4.1 to 4.3 years. While this is the lowest tenure among the C suite, it has remained relatively stable in recent years, with many CMOs leaving due to promotions or new opportunities rather than failure. So, Boz, you'll get a point for that. Like I said, everyone has made valid points. While everyone's on some BS, everyone has made valid points. Amanda is valid in which I feel like these girls are attacking her, but I'm gonna get on Amanda too because I do feel like she is hiding some stuff, but let her come out with it in her own time. Boz is valid here. She made that argument saying that they have typically short tenures, and they do. So then she goes, though, that it's not typically due to failure that they leave. Oh, no, she says, actually, here it says it's not typically due to failure, but she made a comment saying that usually when things go wrong, they usually blame the CMO, and the CMO has to go out. And that kind of made me raise the eyebrow because, Boz, we've heard some rumors on the streets about how you treat people at your company. So let's talk about that. But yeah, so she was right there, and Andy, he was not buying it. So Kyle jumps in, and she asks, well, why are we not supporting people's businesses? And then Amanda's segment gets completely hijacked by Kyle and Dorit. Because then Dorit was like, well, you didn't support my book. And then Kyle, she starts lifting off the past time she supported Dorit with the whole accent, with the boopity de beppo, baby boppity boop, the whole Lucy Lucy Apple Juicy. And oh my God, let me tell y'all, I don't want to hear Lucy Lucy Apple Juicy ever again. I thought we got rid of that way back when Lisa Vanderpump left. Let's leave it there, okay? But Kyle starts listing off all these things. And my thing is this. Yes, you were a good friend to her in the past, but like Dorit says, what does that have to do with right now? We could have been good friends last week, but if you punch me in the face today, we're fighting. Like, I'm not going to be like, oh, you just punched me in the face, but last week you were good to me, so go ahead and keep punching me in the face. No. Like, the past, we're not negating that you were a good friend in the past, but let's talk about right now. And right now, you're doing me dirty, so we have a problem. I don't understand what Kyle's not getting about that. Like, the past does not give you a pass to be mean to me now. Am I crazy? Because I feel like watching these girls makes me feel crazy sometimes. Oh my gosh. But Dorit is like, let's stay current. And so Kyle, she ends up reading a text message that she sent to Dorit saying that she couldn't come to her book party. And she's like, I'm very tired. I have a lot going on. I need to rest. I hope we can talk later, and I hope to see you at the wedding. Dorit responds. She goes, it's totally understandable. Yes, we'll talk later. And yes, I will be at the wedding too. So Kyle is pretty much like, well, that's fake. That's a fake response. And I semi agree with Kyle because Dorit, she goes, I totally understand. But then she's like, well, I was hurt too. Say that you were hurt in a text message. Be like, man, like, I wish you were here. Like, whatever. I'm hurt, but we'll talk about it later. But she just went, I totally understand. Yeah, we'll talk. I'll see you at the wedding. I kind of understand both sides of it, though. Dorit just wanted to be cordial. It can go either way, depending on, where you stand with things. So I get both sides. But then they start going back and forth, and Kyle is like, well, when you started talking to Bose and Bose said I should be there, you were like, absolutely. One thing about Kyle, I love when Kyle does a little impression of someone and when she does like the dramatics of it all. Like that one reunion where her and Sutton were arguing, and Sutton was like, what? And she was like, what? One thing Kyle is going to do, she's going to give a good impression. But Kyle starts getting into how she feels like Bowles was gassing her up. And if you feel like Bowles is gassing her up, confront Bowles about that. And this is where it starts driving me crazy again. Like, I need the other girls to get involved or get these other girls involved. Because my thing is this: say what you want about Kyle and Dorit. But if Kyle and Dorit weren't arguing during this season, and yes, it might be the entire same argument from the last, 2, 3 years, what else will we be arguing about? What else? Because none of these girls are contributing right now. The reason talking about Erica needs to clock in. Everybody needs to clock in. But yeah, so they're going back and forth about that. Dorit pretty much, and she was making some very good points. The thing is about Dorit is like Dorit back in the day, and yeah, she still talks a little bit too much. But now I feel like her points are more succinct. Like she's a little bit more to the point. She's a little bit less winded. Because I feel like she kind of has herself like under control. Like she knows what she wants now. She's dealt with enough bullshit in her life. She's like, this is how I feel now. But excuse me, Dorit pretty much lets her know, I show up to things when I'm tired. I show up to things when I don't want to go, because that's what friends do. And she's absolutely right about that. And then so she then goes back to what Kyle said about Bose amping her up. And she's like, I'm tired of Kyle, Erica, Sut. And she's like, and you judging my relationship with Bose. And Sutton's like, well, I'm not judging. And Erica's just, what? What'd she say? Jump in. Ladies, jump in. Like she is roping y'all into the conversation. Jump in. What are y'all doing? When I tell y'all, I have over the course of these notes, I have jump in, and not just this one. Last week's reunion, I have jump in so many times. Like they should have jumped in there. They should have jumped in last week when Dorit was like, "Oh, did you have something? Did you call me erratic, Amanda? Did you call me erratic?" They should have jumped in when Kyle said to jump in. They should have jumped in Italy when Erica was like, "We all feel this way, but they won't say it." And then Dorit was like, "Well, since we all feel this way, do y'all have anything to say?" Nobody said anything. Ladies, jump in. At this point, I don't care if y'all are Team Dorit or Team Kyle. They're the only two working. Just fire everybody else at this point because they're the only two working. We may not like the job, but they're still working. Reeling in. These ladies, these ladies. All right. So, nobody says anything though. Not even Erica, Miss Big Bad Erica. Like this would have been your time to jump in and start reading the girls, since that's what you love. You like to get activated, but she didn't even do so. But yeah. So then Kyle, she's saying that she doesn't judge her friendship with Bose. And I'm like, girl, yes, you do. But this is what Kyle does. She throws a rock and hide her hand. She says that she's not talking bad and she's trying to be a good friend to Dorit. You're not. You saying that Dorit, that all these other girls are, talking about her. You're leading the conversation. You're saying Dorit's, you're sitting here talking about Bose and how Bose is interfering in a relationship. Then you backpedaling saying, oh, I don't say that. Like, Kyle, you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite, girl. Just call it like I see it. So then the argument starts over again. Kyle is like a record player, just on a loop. She starts listing all the time she's supported Dorit in the past. Then finally, Kyle is like, Dorit's like, name something current. Like, you keep doing this, we're going in circles. name something Kurt. And Kyle's like, we haven't been friends in 2 years. And Dorit's like, exactly. You just proved my point. And then Kyle starts talking in circles again. So then Andy is like, ladies, this is Amanda's package. I think Amanda might have said it also. And the girls start laughing about it. And I completely forgot it was Amanda's package. And this is what I'm talking about when I say the whole Real Housewives of New Jersey effect I said in my last reunion, where it's like you had Teresa and Melissa and all of the drama surrounding them, and regardless of what you had going on, regardless of if you were new, if you were seasoned, whatever storyline you had going on, it always circled back to those two. This is a prime example of what's happening here. Beverly Hills is turning into the New Jersey right now. And they better hope they don't end up on pause like them, because Jersey's ratings were good and they couldn't get it together, and look what happened to them. Just because your ratings are good don't mean you won't get put on pause if y'all can't pull it together and y'all are making production hard. Chow. But so we get back to Amanda and we talk about Rachel's dinner and the whole situation between the anniversary of the death of Amanda's son and Dorit confronting Amanda about talking about her marriage. Now, Andy was saying how the fans were saying, "Oh, Dorit, it was so disgusting how you did that." But the thing is this, go back and watch the episode. Dorit confronted Amanda. Amanda responded by saying, "Oh, it's the death of my son's anniversary. It's my son's anniversary." Oh, God, you know what I mean. Dorit says, and Amanda says it's the anniversary of her son's death. After Dorit confronts her, Dorit backs off. Then Amanda makes a small comment like, "But that was just my opinion on your marriage," or something like that. It was something small. It wasn't anything crazy. But then that got Dorit reactivated again. And once Dorit starts going, it's kind of hard for her to stop. So then Dorit starts speaking again. Amanda gets upset and then she leaves. And the Dorit tries to comfort her at the door. Amanda's like, don't touch my face. Don't try to dry my tears and stuff like that. But we're acting like Dorit was just coming at her, coming at her. Dorit backed off at first. And then Amanda kind of kept going. And then Dorit started going again. And then Amanda ran away. And this is where I go back to last week when Rachel was saying, you can't be the victim and the villain at the same time. You played victim, made a comment, got Dorit started again, and then started running away. You can't do that. Your feelings were validated. Were valid. It's your son's anniversary's death. I'm getting tongue twisted. You know what I mean, y'all. Like, I understand that. But it's like, then just stay there and leave it. Don't make some little side comment and then not allow her to respond, because that's unfair. That's gaslighting. Girl. So, and what Amanda said, and she was right, because Amanda was like, I couldn't remember what I said. And I looked back on it. What I said wasn't that bad. What Amanda said wasn't that bad. And Amanda is entitled to have an opinion. I know Dorit is sitting there saying, oh, well, you don't know me and you don't have an opinion. Come on, y'all. We don't know these girls. And I'm sitting here reviewing and giving my opinion now. So she could do the same. We hear stuff all the time about people we don't know. Whether we have friends that have a friend that have a friend, we hear stories with our friends all the time about other people we don't know. We hear stuff from other people we know, and we have opinions about it. We're entitled to that. So suck it up, Buttercup. The difference is this, though, is when you get confronted on it, though, you got to be ready to stand on it. And that's kind of where I am with Dorit. Dorit was like, well, if you would have just said that's my opinion, or you dragged it on. Amanda, you dragged it on. We dragged this on for literally like the first like half of the season, probably a little bit past that too. And that was Amanda's fault right there. But also, you girls like weren't filming together that much either. It was like y'all had that dinner, and then Amanda didn't show up to an event that Dorit was at. Everyone was just like separately talking. So it's everybody's fault. But yeah, Amanda, you dragged it on, girl. You were doing way too much. So she apologizes at the end of the day, though. And then Andy asks her, was there anything you learned from this season? And Amanda says that she learned it's not scary being around these girls, aka we'll see her next season. I feel like she's like getting hip to, when she first came in, she didn't know what was going on. But now she's kind of getting hip to things. So we'll see her. She'll be back. And I'm okay with it. Like, I think she deserves at least one more season. There's very few housewives that I'm like, they should be a one and done. Very few. Probably I can say, like, and I'm not going to name them here because those few, they get me so worked up at the thought of them, honestly. But it's enough to name on one hand. Regardless of if I like them or not, I feel like everyone at least deserves a second chance, except for those few. So we take a break. Jennifer Tilly and Kathy show up. Kathy shows up with like 10,000 things, doing her Kathy shtick, giving everybody, take this, take that, take this. Girl, you should have bought a suitcase. You could have put it all in a suitcase, or one of them little rolling carts that unfolds. Just put them all in there and just roll it to the trailer, girl. Like, you rich enough to buy something like that. But the girls come out. Jennifer Tilly, she looks amazing. It's Kathy Hilton's birthday. Kathy fell for some AI diet. The girls joke and laugh about it. And they joke and laugh about like Italy and Kathy making sexualized jokes about the statues and stuff like that. And then we get to Kyle's package. Now, did y'all notice that we keep emphasizing? He did it at the beginning of the reunion last week, and then we're doing it in this package. And I feel like it's came up like one more time, but we keep emphasizing that Kyle is the longest running consecutive housewife. We get it, Andy. We get it. You love her. All the girls, they get emotional during the package, including Dorit. And I got emotional too when they showed Portia talking to Taylor on the phone when she was inviting everybody to like the white party. I got emotional seeing that too because it's like, damn, we really grew up with these kids. Like, she's grown as fuck now, and we saw them when they were babies. And it's like across the board too, even like on, Jersey, Atlanta with Candy and Riley. Like, Riley's grown now on Jersey. I forgot which child Teresa had, but Teresa had a baby like the first or second season, and they're grown now. It's crazy seeing them all like grow up. And you feel like they're a part of your life too. It's my nieces. Those my nieces, honey. Some of them might be older than me though. They still my nieces. But Alexia too, because they showed like a little clip of Alexia and her husband getting married. They showed a little clip of the marriage. That I swear, tell me that did not look like Kyle and Mauricio. It looked like Kyle and Mauricio way back in the day, and I know that just tore Kyle up on the inside that they looked alike and she's alone. That's what really tore her up. But it was nice seeing that. It was a cute little flashback. And then at the end of it, though, it shows the scene with Kyle inside of Amanda's house, Kyle's old house, and she's crying and she's all emotional. And she's just like, I just think about the life that we used to have. And Mauricio said, here it goes. He takes his thumb, dries that tear, and says, life passes like a real villain. That was terrible. It was terrible. I felt so bad for her. I was like, girl, this man, he's done. He's done. And you need to let it go. But we're going to get into that in a second. So actually, Andy, we're going to get into it right now. Andy calls that out immediately. He was like, I was very shocked by how disconnected Mauricio was. Kyle, she starts talking about, well, I kind of just sprung it up on him, and he probably felt uncomfortable because I was so emotional. And I kind of understand, like, you're already on TV, even though he's used to being on TV, but it's like, he's already done in his mind. I don't think he was expecting Kyle to just walk in that door and Kyle was just going to be just a flood of tears. I thought he was just going to he thought he was going to get a cute little scene. Just going to look at all the changes to the house, talk a little bit, and then just go about that day. And then he was going to go motorboat some boobs because I'm sure that's what Mauricio's doing somewhere. But my thing is this. It made me think about a few things. The psychic was right at that dinner party from hell. She said he would never emotionally fulfill you. And Kyle, he's not emotionally fulfilling you. He is checked out. He is done. And the second thing is this, is Kyle, she still loves Mauricio. With the Morgan of it and all, I think she still loves Mauricio. And if she had it her way, she would take Mauricio back. Let's say she was with Morgan and Mauricio was like, Kyle, leave her. I want you back. Kyle would do it. Kyle hasn't pulled the trigger on a divorce because of emotions. Mo has not pulled the trigger on a divorce because of finances. I think they are both in two completely different headspaces. So, we talk about something very interesting, and I was not expecting this, and I'm glad we addressed it. We talk about Mo's appearance on Potomac when they were in Aspen, and the girls saw him, and Ashley and all the girls were flirting with him, and then Stacy is chasing him down, trying to get his number so he can hook him up with Ashley. And so Kyle talks about how she received apologies from the girls and that it comes up on the Ultimate Girls Trip. And I'm like, oh, I cannot wait for this. They need to hurry up and air that, okay? Like, why are we not getting a trailer for this? Give me something. I'm excited about that. But it comes up on the Ultimate Girls Trip. And so Kyle ends up saying, well, they were saying they apologized, and then they're going, this one said this, and this one said that. And what I got out of that statement is Giselle and Ashley are blaming Stacy. If you watch Potomac, you know. If you know, you know. Those girls, when Kyle said this one said this and this one said that, I said, oh, they're blaming Stacy. They were in Kyle's ear saying, yeah, it was all Stacy. Stacy really wanted him. I know that's what they were doing. When y'all were all flirting, Ashley, you were flirting with him. Giselle, you got in your confessional and you said, oh, Mauricio's the type of person I would lay horizontally with. So, girl, you're no better. Y'all are no better. And so my thing is this, like I said, they knew to apologize because at the end of the day, Giselle might be the queen of Potomac, but when it comes to Real Housewives in general, across all franchises, Kyle put her dick on the table. Okay, Kyle is the real girl in charge. None of you, yeah. Giselle's so used to getting that treatment from Andy in Potomac. She knows though. She knows she got to kiss the ring when it comes to Kyle because Kyle is real big fish. Giselle might be, the Potomac girls might be here, and then Giselle might be, the head honcho of those girls, but Kyle is the head honcho. So she knew she had to kiss the ring. So, but let's see what else we got going on. So yeah, Kyle talks about like these girls need to stop stroking his ego, and I'm with her on that. Like Mauricio is cute, and he was definitely fine back in the day, but he is not all that. There is plenty of fine men in this world for y'all to not be clamoring over somebody else's man, okay? And then Kathy, she jumps in. Well, Kyle mentions how Kathy was like, "Look, don't be talking about how hot Mauricio is." And then Kathy jumps in and was like, yeah, like stop boosting this man up. And she said the same thing. She was like, he okay, but he not that fab. And then we get an LVP reference. And it's the first of two LVP references tonight, minus the Lucy Lucy Apple Juicy. We're not talking about that. But Kathy brings up Ken. She's like, next to Ken, he fine. But that's about it, pretty much. And so Andy asks Kathy, he's like, why do you think they're not divorced yet? And Kathy says, denial. And I agree. It is denial. Denial on Kyle's part. Mauricio's part, I think it is strictly financial. And the girls, they are trying to warn Kyle. Dorit asks Kyle, like, do you think you're waiting for him to come back? And Kyle is like, possibly, yeah, because you're in denial. And so they start talking about the agency, and Kyle's like, well, I would get half of the agency. Kathy's like, does he realize that? Sutton jumps in and she's like, money changes things, especially men. Erica starts nodding. She's like, I agree. I agree. And she was like, you might get some of the assets, but you're also going to inherit the debt too. And Kyle is just not trying to hear it. Rachel, she jumps in. She's like, look, he's living a totally different life because they talk about when they saw when Rachel and Kyle were in Aspen together, and Mauricio was going and doing his own thing, and Rachel was just like, "Yeah, he's living his life, honey. Kyle, I don't know what you're doing, but you need to do something, girl. You need to do something." Then she whispers to Kathy, she's like, "Yeah, I see him out several times a week. He's living his own life." And I'm like, "Girl, wake up, Kyle. Wake up, bobblehead." In the words of Mary Cosby, like you need to pull it together because you're going into this way too doe-eyed. You're going into this so blind, girl. Take the blindfold off. So then Bose, she tells Kyle, she's like, well, you should file while y'all are amicable. Bose, that ain't gonna matter. Because like Sutton and Erica and all these other girls are saying, we're talking about they're worth millions, hundreds of millions. Over the course of the decade, too, the agency has made billions. This is a lot of money we're talking about right here. So whether you're amicable or not, it could start off amicable, but as soon as Kyle files, they're going to war. It does not matter where they are. It doesn't matter how happy they are. Soon as one of them files, they are going to war. And I think Mauricio recognizes that, and that's the only reason he's holding off. Because at the end of the day, he can keep his money, and he's still out there living his life, like Rachel Zoe said. So I feel bad for Kyle. Kyle may be a villain, but I still feel bad for her because at the end of the day, When it comes to these men, 99% of the time, I'm always on a woman's side. I'm never going to pick the man's side. So come on, Kyle, pull it together. But they talk about Kyle's in denial. They start talking about their relationship and what might have led to the demise. They talk about Mauricio being emotionally disconnected. Kyle says that social media didn't contribute to anything, like it's made things hard. And my thing is, this girl, she was like, when I see a man that has social media, that doesn't have social media, it's a green flag. No, girl, that means he just cheating on you and you can't track it. Like Mauricio will still be, if Mauricio didn't have social media, he'll still be running the streets. He'll just be harder to find. You can't change the man. Whether they have social media or not is not going to change their personality. If he's going to cheat, he's going to cheat. If he's a loyal man, he'll be loyal. Social media don't got nothing to do with it. I'm sorry. Y'all might disagree with me, but that's where I stand with that. You can't. It's just excuses to me. It's just excuses. A cheater's a cheater. A faithful person is a faithful person, regardless of what the circumstances, regardless of what the situation is. I'm dying on that hill. But Bowles, she jumps in and just saying, I can relate because I'm in this fresh relationship. And the girls are dragging Keely. She's like, they're talking about how Keely's gonna, I'm having a baby for a man. You are. Keely's gonna take my money. He is. Girl, the way when he sat there across from her and was like, yeah, if when they were at that dinner and he was like, yeah, if I lost my job today, would you take care of me and hold me down? He started laughing. Even Bose's daughter was looking like, bitch, do you not hear what he's saying? Like, girl, the dick can't be that good. Ain't no way. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Because when you don't have anything else to give, I guess that's all he got for her. So, child. But yeah, so she relates to that. And she even includes Amanda, though. She's like, just with me being a newly married and newly engaged, and Amanda, I don't know how you feel about it, if you can relate to it. And that gave me a little bit of, that gave me some more hope for Amanda. A few things are giving me hope for Amanda. One, Amanda, she defended herself a little better. Yeah, she's not reading the girls yet or anything like that. But she defended herself a little bit better. She spoke up. She didn't back down from Bose, even though Bose was overpowering her. But even here, Bowles is like, jumping in the conversation and including her in the conversation. So I'm like, okay, there's hope. And Amanda said she learned that the girls aren't so scary. There's hope for Amanda. So we'll see how she does next season, but she does need to step it up some more. But also, I want her to stay around because I'm telling y'all, these girls are right about her. Like I said, they're going too hard on her, but 3, 4, 5 seasons from now, everything's going to blow up. She's going to have her Erica Jane season. She gonna have her Erica Jane season coming soon. We just gotta be patient. It can't happen the first season. But what else we got going on here? Let's see. So yeah, Bose relates to that, and then we start talking about Morgan. And we address my thing is this: did Morgan sign an NDA, or did they sign an NDA saying they can't mention Morgan's name because they keep saying this person, this individual, this individual? Fuck being respectful. We don't owe you anything. Yeah, you weren't, you didn't sign up to be on the show, but you made an appearance. You're the topic of conversation. You were a major storyline. We're gonna talk about it. I hate that we're dancing around saying this person, this person, this person, this person. Girl, you were a famous, and I use famous loosely. I mean, she's more famous than us regular people. You were a singer. You are an entertainer. Welcome to the industry. People are going to gossip about you. Okay? So I hate this whole, this person, and I was in a relationship. Mention her name. Like Bethany said, mention it all. Like, why are we dancing around this? Unless there was some NDA signed saying, don't mention my name, some clause or something. This is dumb. It's pissing me off. But we start talking about Morgan and her relationship. And so Andy asked her, well, Dorit, is this what you meant when you could have blown up her life? And Dorit was like, yes. And Dorit, you should have did it. But it's too late now because here we are talking about it, even though we're still dancing around it. But, and Kyle, like, you're sitting here saying, like, the situation is over. Didn't you just buy a house in Tennessee? In Nashville? Don't she live in that area? Because I know she's from like Virginia. I'm from Virginia. Hey, like I know she's from that area. So what you doing over there? All the places you could have bought a property. You love going to Aspen. You love going to Kemosabe and all these other places. You want to go to Tennessee all of a sudden? Okay, girl, because it's an investment. Anyway, I'm running my mouth here, y'all. But Kyle keeps saying, because they talk about how Andy asked Dorit, asked Kyle, "Did you appreciate Dorit keeping your secret?" And Kyle's like, "Yeah, I appreciate everyone keeping my secret, but we've all had secret relationships." And Kyle said that, I want to say good like 3 or 4 times. So finally, Dorit was like, "Well, who else? You keep saying that. Who else?" And I'm like, "Yes, name them. Name them. Name them. Name them. Name them. Would you shut up? Name them." Like, we are just dancing around everything. Let's air it all out. Like I said, had this been Salt Lake City, we talking about in Salt Lake City, talking about sucking dick for jazz tickets. They're talking about sugar daddies having credit cards and all this other stuff. Like Salt Lake City, they don't care. These girls will air out everybody's business and then be friends 2 seconds later. But they cannot do that here, and it's infuriating because it's not entertaining when we're just dancing around. Like it just breaks the. I don't know. I don't know. It's weird because we keep breaking the immersion of. It's like one moment we're in a reality TV show, then the next minute we're breaking the fourth wall. Then we're like, we can't talk about this, but then you want people to be interesting. It's like, where do we draw the line of you want people to be interesting, but then everybody's hiding something? But then we're holding certain people accountable, like Amanda. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. It drives me crazy. It's so infuriating, but here we are, child. I'm still enjoying it though. This is actually a decent reunion. But what we got going on next? Let's see. So Kyle doesn't name him, but she ends up using Erica as a a good example because it's an easy way to deflect. Erica talked about her man, and excuse me, Erica's pretty much like, I mean, what if I had that man on here that was beating me? Can you imagine how that would have went? And I'm glad she didn't because he did not deserve the attention. But at the same time, I kind of wish he was on here because then we would have saw the real him, and then he would have got dragged by the public, and he deserves that because one thing I can't stand is just anyone who hits their partners, man or woman. Nobody should be hitting anybody. Keep your hands to yourself. So I kind of wish he did come on this platform because Erica, we would have still been on your side. We not gonna support that shit. Ugh, disgusting. Men are just. Ugh, I told you I'm always on a woman's side. I'm always on a woman's side. But Andy ends up saying, like, Kyle, the reason the fans are like coming at you about this whole Morgan thing, and it's true. It's like, girl, you shared so much of your life. We saw your kids grow up. You were in this marriage with Mauricio. We saw all the trials and tribulations. Oh my God, something just went in my eye. We saw all the trials and tribulations of your marriage, and it's like, we saw your marriage start to dissolve, and we want to see the next steps. It's not all to just like be shady and to talk and to gossip and stuff like that, but it's like we want to see you evolve. We want to see you thrive after your marriage. Mauricio is gallivanting around in the streets. We want to see you do it too, even if it's with a woman. Like that's what we want to see it. We want to see the real. And so Andy was trying to say that, but I don't think Kyle got it because she's just like, I don't need to share my life. And it's like, okay. And then we get the second Lisa mention, and she goes, just like Lisa said, not everything is out for public consumption. We want the story to wrap up, though. We want like a full circle moment, and we're not getting that full circle now. We're getting a crescent because you won't take us all the way around and show us the other half of you on the other side of the divorce, the separation. That's never going to turn into a divorce. Mauricio is going to ride this to the grave because he is not giving up that check. But yeah, so then we get to Sutton. And Sutton actually got a package. I was surprised. So the package was just Sutton's name change. And was there anything else in the package? My notes don't even say anything. It just says Sutton got a package. It's just Sutton's name change. Yeah, that's all. We talk about Sutton's change in personality actually also, and how she's a different person now that she's not drinking. Like I said in the first part of my reunion review, I need Sutton to pick the bottle back up because you'd be way more interesting if you was cussing these girls out like you used to. Andy asks Sutton if she thinks she has a drinking problem. Sutton goes, I was getting very lost. I wasn't drinking too much. I was drinking too frequently. And my response to that is this: if it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, like Candy told Kim at that reunion, the Real Housewives of Atlanta, I think it was like season 10 reunion. Candy was like, oh, if you need Croy to come get you every time you have a drink, sounds like you got a drinking problem to me. If it walks like a duck and quacks like a duck, Sounds like a drinking problem to me. And it's okay. It's a part of life. People got problems. Just be real about it. But I mean, come on. Luann was real about her drinking, and Luann, she went to jail for a DUI. Came out, was sober for 2 weeks, 2 minutes, and started drinking again. Like, girl, it's just part of life. We know what you girls do, and we know you girls are probably doing more behind the scenes. Some of y'all, not all of y'all, especially in LA. Child, the stuff they do out there. But we get into Javi and we ask what's going on with that. Sutton doesn't give us an answer. And Andy tells her, like, just say what happens or we'll speculate more. And that's what I'm saying. Just say what happens. But she ends up saying that it was a termination of employment and she's like, we both signed things. So I'm assuming what I got out of that is they signed some papers saying, look, this is your severance. This is your severance package and you can't talk about it. I don't know if Javi has talked about it or not. I haven't heard anything, but that's what I got out of that is Javi can't even say anything and Sutton is not going to say anything either. So here we go again though, with y'all not sharing stuff and y'all wanting Amanda to share everything. Please, girl. Goodbye. Like, we're doing all of this, and yeah, we're like, we got this hobby stuff going on, and that's real too. The hobby, the Garcelle of it all, the falling out of that all, and we harassing Dorit about being late and the money queen. Like, why are y'all not pushing? So then they talk about how Garcelle and Avi, they were seen at some red carpet event taking pictures together. And Rachel thought it was shady. Sutton thought it was a little shady too. And it probably was shady, but also at the same time, if you see someone you know at an event, why not take a picture with them? People take pictures at red carpets with people they don't know just because they want a picture with that person, you know? So it's like, oh, hey, girl, like I haven't seen you in a while, and we both don't like that bitch. Let's take a picture. You know, that's probably what Garcelle was doing. And you know what? She deserves it too, because the other thing is this: if I'm pissed off at you and we fell out, and I know someone else that fell out with you, and I'm cool with them, hell yeah, we're taking a picture together. So I don't even blame her for that. Chill. Chill. Like she deserves it. The way you did Garcelle, you deserved it. And that's the other thing too. And then so we get into the Garcelle of it all. Sutton's still acting confused at why Garcelle is mad at her. Like, girl, you did not have that girl's back. Now, with that being said, I'm not 100% on Garcelle's side too. Garcelle is another person. Like I said, everyone is getting a compliment and everyone is getting a critique. Garcelle is another person who she likes to, talk, and then when the talk gets back to her, she got a problem with it. Just like the whole Dorit and the robbery thing. Yeah, girl, have your opinion. But when Dorit confronts you about it, are you expecting Dorit to like your opinion? No. But go back at her about it. Be like, yeah, that's my opinion, and I still think it. You can't. What you gonna do about it? You know? And then when Erica called her boring, and then during the break, her and Garcelle go into the dressing room, and she's like, fuck her, fuck her, fuck her. Just because I don't have a husband who's going to jail, I'm not interested. Girl, why didn't you say that on the stage? Why are we saying this behind the scenes? Go ahead and walk off if you want to, but say it and then storm off. But why are you saying it behind the scenes? And then you came back out there and sat out there and was pouting. So it's like I understand both sides, but Sutton, girl, you did like Garcelle, you be doing stuff and then crying wolf, but Sutton, you didn't have that girl's back, and Garcelle was way better of a friend to you than you were to her. At least on the show. I don't know what's happening outside the show, but at least on the show. But yeah, Sutton's acting confused, acting like she don't know why Garcelle's mad at her. Andy asks the ladies if they have any thoughts on what might have happened, and it's crickets again. And for the 15th time in my notes, I have speak up with exclamation marks all capitalized because these girls are not speaking up. Say what y'all gotta say because y'all had a lot to say about Garcelle and y'all had a lot to say about Sutton too. Say it. Ugh, girl. Oh my gosh. Then we get into Sutton and Jennifer Tilly and their little spat that they had where Sutton was like, this is why Garcelle left. Jennifer Tilly says it about Sutton. She's like, this is why Garcelle left because Sutton makes everything about her. Jennifer Tilly apologizes to Sutton. Sutton apologizes to Tilly for snapping at her. And then we get into Sutton versus Dorit at Rachel's party. Well, throughout the season too, because that was pretty much Sutton's package was Dorit. It was a name change and Dorit. And so we start off with Rachel's party and them talking, and Dorit is just like, I saw the change in Sutton's eyes. And they showed that flashback, and you can kind of see it a little bit. But I'm with Dorit. Don't come to me telling me I need to apologize to someone I got into a fight with when I feel like I don't need to apologize to them. And to apologize to them for not reaching out to them, we just got into a fight last week. Of course, I'm not going to speak to them all week. So why do I need to apologize? Did you tell Kyle she needs to apologize for not reaching out to me? The phone works both ways. So get out my face with that. So I was with Dorit. Rachel comes over, and Dorit is like, Sutton trying to tell me how to handle things. And they get up and walk away. Sutton comes and interrupts her talking to somebody else, and Dorit's like, I'll hate you forever. I'm just kidding. And here goes Sutton being sensitive. But you know what, Dorit, you didn't even need to kid. Because, girl, why are you coming to interrupt me with some BS? I don't care. I don't care. I'm with Dorit all the way there. Like, get out my face, okay? Like, I'm trying to enjoy myself, and you keep coming over here, moping, being Kyle's lackey. Because that's the real reason you're mad. You weren't mad because you felt dismissed by Dorit. You were mad because you wanted Dorit to kiss the ring when it comes to Kyle. You wanted Dorit to bend to the altar of Kyle, like you said you weren't going to do these last 2 seasons. You were screaming these last 2 seasons, I'm not going to bend to the altar of Kyle. And girl, you the first one at the church. You opened the church doors for everybody. Actually, you were the usher. You was letting everybody in, girl. You were ushering everybody in. And when Dorit didn't want to get ushered in, you had a problem with it. Because why were you that upset that she didn't want to go apologize to Kyle? Girl, bye. But Dorit says Sutton not showing up to her book party was the final straw. And girl, is the book even out yet? Actually, let's check. Is what's the name of that book? Unbothered or Unburdened? Or Unbreak My Heart? Girl, let me not sing. Burdened. Is it Unburdened? Oh Lord. Tariq Hemsley book. That's what we'll do. Unburdened, a memoir. Is it out? Oh, it says it's in stock at Barnes and Noble and Amazon. Let's go to Amazon because I want to see if I can actually. I'm not ordering it, but I want to see if I can actually get it now. Hardcover. Okay, it comes out. It ain't even out yet. First of all, that's terrible timing because if you were gonna do this book, the thing is this: you're trying to promote it. Having the cover, I do understand why she had the cover shoot on the show, even though the book was not ready. But the thing is this, if you're going to do that, the timing should have been perfect. You should have had the cover shoot gone with the book not ready. And when this was airing, the book should have been coming out right when this was airing. Like the book should have came out the night that that episode aired. The book should have came out during the reunion, but it should have been out while this was airing, so it's fresh in our minds. Not us having this drama, and then it's gonna come out in June, and nobody's gonna be talking about Beverly Hills in June. We're gonna all be have moved on. The summer would have started. I'm gonna be at the beach. Okay. So, girl, yeah. But Kathy asks a legitimate question. She's like, Dorit, you had all your friends there and everybody else there. Did you really care that Sutton wasn't there? Because, come on, stop acting like Sutton was really your friend. Stop acting like you really care. I added that last part in. But Dorit, she doesn't answer the question. Instead, she goes, oh, I supported Sutton's fashion show. And I hate when people do that. It's a yes or no question. Would you have cared if she was really there or not? And her not answering tells me she didn't really care. This was just a tit for tat thing. And this was just something, some more ammo she had for Sutton. And so Andy, he makes an analogy, and he's because Sutton's like, "Well, you shaded my fashion show, though." So Andy's like, "Well, would it be better if Sutton didn't come, or if she came and been like, girl, you got a cover and no book, a fashion show with no fashions? How dreadful." And Dorit was like, "What does that have to do with her not coming?" And Andy's like, "I made an analogy," and she goes, "It's a poor one." I'm not gonna lie, that was funny. Andy looked like he was kind of gagged. Like, did she just come at me like that? Because he used to Teresa coming at her, and sometimes Kyle, like I don't think he used to Dorit. That was kind of funny, but yeah, like Dorit, you didn't care. Stop this. You're doing this just to make. You're just doing this just to be dramatic and just to stir up some drama. But then she talks about how she was mad at Sutton and Erica for meeting and not coming to her book party. And what else? And we get into the Erica and Sutton of it all. Erica, she's like pissed. She's like, "Why would I come to your book party?" We got into this big argument in Italy, and Erica's big thing is, "You told me I needed to work. You told me I wasn't doing my job, and you kind of just called me out." And that just pissed her off, and she goes like, "I bared my life. I brought up my whole domestic violence, and that's what I said last week when this episode aired. I was like, okay, like the whole thing with the Tom thing, we knew the Tom thing was going on, but I said it, go back and look at my review. I was like, she should be more mad at the fact that you were literally getting like beat on by a man, and I'm sure that was like a very like high stress. Not, I'm sure, like it was a very high stress, intimidating situation. I can't imagine being in that situation. I'm getting like beat by a man who can possibly kill me, because those situations, they can go either way. There's so many women out here that get killed in situations like this. Like those things escalate. And so I'm in a scary situation where my life is in danger. And you're sitting here talking about some, what are you going through? And Bose is a better friend and all this stuff. That's what would have pissed me off more than this whole Tom thing. Who cares about Tom? Tom been came and gone, child. So like that, I understand. So finally she brought it up after I said that last week, because I'm always right. So she brought that up and she's like, yeah, like I'm going through all of this, and you're sitting here telling some, what are you going through? And you need to worry about your job after I'm sharing everything. And we get into the whole thing of, has Erica been a good friend to Dorit? And I think Erica has been a good friend to Dorit partially. She's been a good friend to Dorit, in which I feel like she's been very supportive of Dorit with the PK of it all. When she was having dinner with Kathy and Bowles and Erica and stuff like that, Erica was there giving her advice. Erica was the first person Dorit told about the separation last season, at the beginning of the season. She met with Dorit and was like, I'm getting separated from PK, before she announced it, before she told all the other girls. And Erica was there for her. Even though before that, Erica was on that stage at BravoCon talking about some, they gonna be the next to get divorced. Like, Dorit still forgave you for that. Let's talk about that. Like, Dorit has let a lot of stuff slide with y'all, and y'all are getting on her. But yeah, Erica has been there for Dorit. Erica's maybe not as much as Bose, because Bose got time on her hands clearly, because she just doing a Harvard course with 3 semesters and nothing else. But Erica has been there for Dorit. Now, where she has not been there for Dorit is with this Kyle situation, because anytime Erica disagrees with what Kyle is saying, Erica only says it in the confessional. She does not check Kyle in person. So when Kyle was texting PK and that whole situation of it all, Erica was in a confessional like, oh, she shouldn't be texting PK. She needs to just let it go. The only time they're going to make up is she stopped texting PK. Like, anytime she has a disagreement with Kyle in regards to Dorit, it's always in a confessional. If you are real friends with somebody, you check them in person. You check them in person, especially if you have two friends that are fighting. If I have two friends that are fighting, I'm not straddling the fence, because I'm a real friend. I'm picking a side. I'm going to always let my friend know when they're wrong. And if they're both wrong, I'm going to let them know they're both wrong. If one is wrong, I'm going to let that one know they're wrong. Like, that's what a real friend does. And either they take it or they leave it. But you're not being a real friend by going behind the scenes and talking and enabling the behavior. So Erica is partially a good friend. Partially. But they start going back and forth. Dorit doesn't understand. Andy's like, well, do you want to apologize to her? Dorit is like, for what? And Erica is like, oh my gosh. And then the episode pretty much ends there. But my final thoughts on part two, like I said, Kyle and Dorit are pretty much hijacking the season. And these girls are not getting involved. So let's say we took Kyle and Dorit out of the season. What would they be doing at this reunion? Nobody would be coming at each other. They got a lot to say in the confessionals. They got a lot to say behind each other's backs. They all need to jump in. The second thing I took away from this part is that the girls, they need to go equally hard on each other as hard as they're going on Amanda. If they all did that, I think it would be fine. The way they are attacking Amanda, go after Kyle like that. Go after Bowles like that. come after Rachel like that, which it looks like, I don't know if it's misleading that Kyle is going to come after Rachel for all the stuff she was saying in the confessionals next week. Like, that's what we need, but I don't need just Kyle doing it. I don't need just Dorit doing it. I need all of y'all doing it. The way y'all are coming at Amanda, y'all need to come at each other because everyone is talking behind each other's back. Like I said, we're circling the drain of conflict, of going in the gutter, but we won't go down. We need to do it. If not, y'all all need to go. It's as simple as that. But this was still a cute reunion. Let me know what you guys think. Bye, y'all.